Hello everybody, my name is Aud and welcome back to the Aud Narrations channel. Today we're reading a story titled Husband of Almost 10 Years Had a 3-Month Affair. As always, if you enjoy these videos and want to see more, make sure to hit the subscribe button, that way you won't miss the latest upload. This video is a little bit different in style to the other kind of videos I do. This one's much more of a long form story about a woman's journey through her partner's infidelity and the different stages and different updates that she posts. So if you enjoy this kind of thing, let me know and I will try and do more of them. Some of these are quite hard to find. Most people post one and then vanish. Alrighty, let's make a start. The post reads, I cannot believe I'm living this nightmare. I, 33 female, found out my husband, 40 male, was having a 3-month-long affair the night of the 40th birthday I threw for him 13 days ago. The affair partner is 40 female, with kids. My husband and I have 1 child, and we've been together 14 years and married for almost 10. It sounds crazy, but he's the last person you'd ever expect to do this, and I was the only clueless idiot that thought my marriage was great. I genuinely thought we had that kind of bond that other people envied. I'm not a perfect person by any means, but I'm a damn good wife. I make a great living, cook meals 5 nights per week, encourage him to spend time alone and with just friends or doing hobbies he enjoys, and we had a good sex life. We had funny banter and wit. I was just coasting through life and the rug was pulled out from underneath me with no warning or consent. I feel like I'm swimming in a tank with no ladder or life ring, and I'm treading water in this endless nightmare. I found hundreds of emails where they told each other that they married the wrong person, that their bond was immediate and they knew each other was the one. They emailed sex positions they wanted to try, messages about when myself or her husband would be at work so they could meet, and even messages about my daughter's birthday party. 2 days before D-Day, he told her that he couldn't wait to experience life with her. They talked of bringing kids to baseball practice and working on school projects together with kids. After confronting him when I found the emails, he's remorseful, but he wants to be with me. He said their messages were just talk, and it was all fantasy. Bullshit. I'm so hurt. He's crying and remorseful, going to therapy with me, and doing all the things the therapist says. I told him I would give him a chance, but how can I ever look at him the same way? My life has been turned upside down. He was my partner, my husband, my hero. I guess I'm ranting, but I also need advice and a damn hug. I feel like I owe it to the 14 years of good times to try and make this work, and I know eventually the anger instinct will fade. But how can I stay with someone who did this to me? I keep coming back to a few things. He'll still be doing it if I didn't catch him. How is he suddenly over her? How am I suddenly the right one for him? And can I ever trust him again? They write a follow-up, part 2, titled, Individual counselling today gave me a great perspective. It reads, D-Day was 31 days ago. I've struggled tremendously with so much. You can read my post history for details. I wanted to share something that I thought would help fellow betrayed spouses that my counsellor discussed with me today. I told her that the last 2 days I've cried because last Christmas might have been our last Christmas. It's such a weird thing to think about, but it's the truth. She drew a line on a chart and marked the left, middle and right as past, present and future. Basically, it was a timeline. She said that when we have anxiety about, can I get over this? Will my spouse always care for the affair partner? Will we get divorced? Was it our last Christmas, etc., etc.? We're living in the future. We cannot control the future, and there's nothing we can do about it. We do ourselves a disservice to run through what-if scenarios. Similarly, if we live in the past and ruminate on what our wayward spouse did, the details of the affair, self-loathing, or why didn't I see this? Why didn't wayward spouse stop? We do ourselves a disservice by sitting in our pain. She circled the word present and discussed how we have to live in the present to truly make an attempt to be present with ourselves and our children. I told her that I felt myself getting ramped up thinking about the affair and snapped at my precious daughter yesterday and felt so terrible. She told me to give myself some grace and then just sit down and play with my daughter and truly make an effort to engage and even try to redo the moment right before I snapped. I just thought this was helpful for me. A good reminder for anyone going through it. Be present for yourself. If you're reconciling and you want to give it a real chance, be present for your spouse and love them in this moment. Hugs and well wishes for you all. Don't let this define who you are. You're better than that. They write another update titled, I got a beautiful apology. And it reads, I know these moments come in waves. We're only in week 5 after D-Day. But in marriage counselling on Tuesday, my wayward husband read me an apology he wrote. Tears streamed down his face, and the words he spoke were so powerful to me. I said it was more powerful than our wedding vows, and it was the most important thing he'd ever said to me. He talked about the kind of wife I am. I've always put him first. How any man would be lucky to have me, and I didn't deserve any of this. It was solely his fault. He discussed how weak and selfish he was, how he should have come to me and communicated where he was, but instead he hurt me so much. He said he's going to be the best man he can be and give our marriage all that he can, and asked that I please give our marriage time and opportunity to work. There's more to it, but that was the overall summary. I don't know the end of our story yet, but I can say that it lifted mountains off of me to see true remorse and hear him reading an apology out loud. I wish every betrayed spouse could receive those words from someone who is truly remorseful. I know you can read my post history and see the horrible things that my husband said and did with this other woman, and many skeptics will say he's only sorry because he got caught, or that they say I'm a doormat with no sense of self-worth. Truthfully, I've said all of those same things to myself since all of this happened, and I'm sure those thoughts will occur again. But to that I say, what do I have to lose by trying? I may have to remind myself of that very thing every now and then, but I have absolutely nothing to lose. If we make it through this, we can be a testament to true forgiveness, repentance, and love. If we don't make it through this, I can say that I extended grace and opportunity during the darkest time of my life to someone who didn't deserve it. OP writes another update saying, "Dear friends, hey, it's me again, the person that got that beautiful apology from my wayward husband. Guess what? Spoiler alert, he and the affair partner met up again for closure and lied about it. Affair partner's husband contacted me last night and said that he thought they met up and finally got the affair partner to confess. Wayward husband lied to my face repeatedly and said that the affair partner was the liar and that they didn't meet up. Turns out he sent the affair partner an email to meet him so they could have closure. Even after I caught him, he said she just saw him driving down the road and he stopped. I finally pried it out of him that he emailed her. He said they just met up and had a goodbye discussion. He didn't want to tell me because he knew it would set us back in our reconciliation. Not as far back as more lies and betrayal set us back. We had rules, no contacting the affair partner, 100% honesty, and it's proven time and time again that he can lie to my face with no hesitation, even when I have evidence. The affair partner's husband is devastated that the affair partner didn't ignore the email or confess about it. Wayward husband cried and said sorry over and over for the hurt he's caused, and how I deserve none of it, and how he can easily lie to me, and that any man would be lucky to have me, and how much he loves me and regretted everything, etc. He could have communicated that he needed closure. I could have asked why, or what good and bad it would do. They could have even had a third party present if it was truly something he couldn't deal with. He deceived me, saw her, lied over and over. He's moving out today. I still don't know the end of the story, but how could I ever trust someone who lies as easily as they breathe? Signed, the betrayed spouse, formerly known as Gullible Doormat. Oh my god. Fuck, okay. At least OP's owning it. Right. A couple years later, OP wrote another update, titled 2 years later, an update. And the post reads, "Hello everyone, I get messages weekly asking for an update. I think it's time to finally post one. Tomorrow is 2 years since my divorce was final, and it feels like yesterday and a lifetime all at once. Here's the TLDR if you don't want to read the novel. TLDR, I'm doing great, dating again, and the ex-husband got the affair partner pregnant. She's due next month, and still legally married. That part hurts, but I'm doing great nonetheless. First, I want to say how much I appreciated the support of this community. At a time of my life when I felt so alone, it was incredible to have this support system. Immediately after my divorce, I started dating a mutual friend who had also been cheated on, which, as you can imagine, ended spectacularly badly. But I learned a lot and there are no hard feelings. Since my divorce, I've gotten a huge promotion at work, travelled solo to a foreign country, marked something off my bucket list, sold my house, bought a new one. I took the most painful thing in my life and used it as a license to live my life to the fullest. For anyone going through infidelity, please remember the best revenge is a life well lived. My ex-husband continues to co-parent decently well, but lied to my face. I found out through the other betrayed spouse that my ex-husband and mistress were dating in March. They have a conscientious divorce that is taking quite a while, but he and I are still close. A few people sent me messages asking if the other betrayed spouse and I would get together. It was discussed and laughed about, but we're just great friends. I don't care who my ex-husband dates, but we had an agreement that we would let the other party know if we were to introduce our daughter to someone. I was hoping that if he was going to be with the other woman, they would at least give it some time to see if they could have a real relationship and then going on dates before introducing kids. However, they immediately began introducing our children to one another, and essentially just created a whole brand new family without giving me a heads up. I had suspicions that he and his mistress were having a baby, and he lied to my face. She's due in 4 weeks. I think that's the part of this that hurts so much. My ex-husband and I went through infertility issues, having 3 miscarriages, but now the 2 of them have just replaced their families to build this new one with seemingly no consequences. They just got to live out all the bullcrap they wrote in their messages. It isn't even that I want them to fail, I just have that nagging voice saying, that's not fair. When I think back how they're just living life, I had to cut off some friends who hung out with my ex-husband and the mistress. I'm very black and white about it. Accepting them as a couple is a direct betrayal to me. I view it as supporting 2 people who took my daughter away half of the time. It sounds harsh, but it's just the way I have to heal. I never had an argument or exchanged crosswords. I just blocked and ignored. They know why I did it, and that's fine with me. My daughter loves the other woman and her children. I want that. As difficult as it is, I want her to feel included and loved and cared for when I'm not with her, but it sucks that this is with the other woman. My daughter is excited to be a big sister, so I take that angry part of me and push it down, encouraging her that she's going to be the best big sister ever. It isn't easy, but it's the right thing to do. Someday she'll know the truth, and I hope she's able to look back and see all that I shouldered to ensure that she had a loving childhood. She definitely will, OP. Co-parenting is going well as it can. I don't have to see him or the other woman often, and we have 50-50 custody. Christmas was difficult, but I made it. I was okay. Infidelity is odd like that. Some days you don't even think about it, and some days the slightest thing reminds you of the message you saw on the spouse's phone, or a phrase they said to each other, and you just think, how the hell did I get here? I do that a lot. I'm dating a really great guy. He's 7 years younger than I am. I think there are long-term incompatibilities, but it's really nice to be cared and treated well. I've been very clear that being married again isn't part of what I see for myself, and ultimately I think that might be a deal breaker for him. He's also got a little bit of growing up to do, but I suppose that's all of us. He's encouraging and supportive, and he's been very understanding about dating someone who has been through a massive betrayal. Lastly, I want to encourage a few things. The first is, no matter what happens to you, what job you have, and who loves or doesn't love you, you are worthy of love and whole on your own. You deserve so much more than someone betraying you. I acted very swiftly in my divorce and left 6 weeks after D-Day. Not everyone has that option, but please know your worth. I'd also like to encourage some honest communication. My boyfriend and I have check-ins, discuss times we may not have felt love or what we need more or less of. It's elementary, but I often wonder where my marriage would have been had my ex-husband and I both had the courage to just be honest with one another. And lastly, I guess I need to be grateful for this entire experience. It hurts so badly, but it's made me softer and more empathetic. I hope that if you're going through it or on the other side, you can help someone else and be a good listening post for them. If you've made it this far, thank you. That is a fantastic summary at the end. Well done, OP. And I'm glad everything seems to have sorted itself out in some way. Okay, what do you think OP should have done? Anything different? What would you have done in OP's shoes? Let me know in the comments. As always, if you enjoy these videos, and especially this slightly different format one, please let me know. And I'll see if I can do more of them, because actually comment videos I quite enjoy recording. Some of the comments are very funny and weird sometimes, but these longer story ones are definitely a slightly different vibe, and yeah, they're their own thing. I might even change the thumbnail style slightly so it's easier to see which ones are which. Righty ho, I'll have to finish there for today. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.